He like stabbed me in the nose.
Carl watching. Callum swerving up and down, trying to keep Carl on his toes. Just don't underlap the wheel when you do this. Could prove fatal. Carl taking a very low line on the track. He knows how to ride sprints. He's, wouldn't say the king, but he's very close. Helps out Hilton Clark with the sprint group. They've been given the bell. Carl's still in front. Callum's sitting on his wheel. Carl's watching over his shoulder. Taking up the speed, which is what he wants. Doesn't have much of a kick, but he has a very good top end. Callum has a kick, and he's kicked around him. Well, no, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
He's still on his wheel. Carl's looking good. Callum's a late charge. Callum's a very late charge. He's coming up. That was
Pants, no
Lance
jacket.
Armstrong death stare. I've been given this by Chris. Chris, the father of a very good sprinter, James Dan. Like father, like son. John weaving up and down the track. As it's been said, the rear rider usually controls the pace. Up on the fence, John is. Being higher makes you relatively faster if you have a good jump. Whether you use this to your advantage or not is up to you. Being given the bell, Chris is still leading, still watching, low line. Personally, I would be moving up the track at this point. Chris taking the jump. John responded seated. Chris in front, coming into the corner. Opened up a little gap. John could come back. Both in the sprinter's lane. Chris head down. And John will roll in to the fence. Matt. Next up, Stephen Elliott and Jerry Wilson. Stephen qualified with a 13.5, but in his first round he rode a 13.1. Jared qualified with a 14.5, and the first round Jared raced was here somewhere. He rode 14.0, so Jared went half a second faster, and so did Stephen. So this will be interesting if they can maintain that improvement. We'll see how it pans out. Both riders in Blackburn kit. Stephen with the dark helmet on, Jared with the light helmet. Similar builds too. Both riders long and lean. Jared on the silver bicycle and Stephen on the black. You have to stay above walking pace, gentlemen. Jared perhaps trying to drop down underneath Stephen, and Stephen not having a bar of that. He's matching Jared's pace. It's been an intriguing little battle of wits at this point. Halfway in now, about 450, 500 metres to go. This track is 307 metres long, so 2 laps is 6:14. They're about 500 odd metres to go now as they come around through that bend. 500 metres a long way in a sprint. There's all of the guys who trained yesterday out at Discal, remember, only too fondly. They were doing 500 metre power jumps. They're all a bit nailed today. Stephen did starts instead. They have a different sort of fatigue.
Go, John.
Jared, by comparison, relatively fresh. He may continue to improve as the day wears on. Stephen keeping it short, not giving Jared any move to get up and move. Oh, and there's a little bit of a gap opening up. Jared has the lane. Stephen has to give it to him.
Oi, on you, Jared.
So a nice brave move there from Jared, who now makes his move up the inside. Stephen coming around the outside of him with a little bit more speed up the back straight. Jared certainly with a brave move. But Stephen a bit too much speed. And that half a second difference in qualifying now going to show itself. But a good race there from Jared. He made a good try and fly the English Channel or something like that. Who knows? He can do anything, Neil. But if he's anywhere near the barbecue and you're hungry, beat him to it.
But yeah, Joe. It's recording. Actually say it, then we can show Alicia this recording. It's up.
At the moment, Neil just in a slightly advantageous position. From a tactical point of view, as a leading rider, you really want to have the rider outside you right on your hip at that point, because they've got speed on you and they can out-accelerate you because they're going actually faster than you are. Not by an awful lot. If you know anything about the circumference of a circle, you know that a rider who's above the other one at the same distance is actually doing a slightly higher speed. And Neil, not shy of a little bit of contact, a little bit of push and shove, but David's still holding his line in the lane. He's got to hold himself around the corner or this could get ugly.
Yeah, Neil's got it.
And it does. But David's being forced to hold down there by Neil. And another big hook. But now certainly can't afford to take Connor for granted. He's a very strong, powerful young man.
Why, hello there.
Gotcha, I got my hug. University small. Come on, put your arm around
And
me
he's
too.
got a big jump.
Yeah,
You can
that's
see he's
better.
first year under 17 with a lot of muscle on him. He's a big, strong boy.
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
All right. Doing well?
Yeah, doing great.
Connor deciding he wants to take the lead from Lau.
And then we'll talk.
Wants to lead it out. Lau quite content to sit on his wheel at this point. Maybe a move that plays into Lau's hands. But we'll wait and see what happens with that.
Drop on a minute, thanks.
You get the bell. Connor starting to ramp the pace up. Lau happy to just be patient at this point. Lau doing a bit of a seated acceleration, not out of the saddle. Sorry, Connor making a bit of a seated acceleration. He hasn't jumped out of the saddle yet. Lau still stuck comfortably in the draft with a good lead out. Connor's now committed to his sprint. Lau jumps out of the saddle, moving around the outside. Can Connor stay in the lane, or is he going to throw a mighty hook? We'll see as they come around the bend. This is where it gets interesting. And there's that hook, but it's not going to matter. Oh, we've got some pretty decent power numbers over the last couple of months. But Ryan was around about the same sort of power. Not quite the same power to weight ratio. Nick may well be able to match Ryan for speed. Whether or not he can match him for a jump remains to be seen. So the tactical interplay here between these two riders will be interesting. Certainly, if you're a betting person, you'd be betting on Ryan. But Nick can surprise you. I know he surprised me on a number of occasions. Once he actually showed up to training on time. He makes a move with about 300 metres to go. Ryan, at the moment, content to sit the wheel. Now he jumps out of the saddle to make an acceleration down the back straight. Kicks past in a move reminiscent of Victoria Pendleton. Jumps well clear. And put down your glasses, Ryan Warren. Although he's still swerving around all over the place, not going to interfere with the result. Jennifer Campbell in the black with the red armband.